What's on, guys? Just here back to my channel. Tonight, I'll be doing a review for Aew Dynamite. So let's get to it then. Alright, the bell sounds. I'm sorry. First match is Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews. Alright, the bell sounds and the crowd pops again as the two simply stare at each other. And then the crowd, play to the crowd with some facial reactions before locking up. Matthews isolates the arm of Ospreay, who flips his way out and counters, snatching up the arm of Matthews. They each whip the other into ropes for shoulder blocks that knocks the other down. They both do the slow return to their feet to sell the power of the other. The pace and speed picks up a bit, and the two begin training more offensive sequences, all of which again ultimately result in a stalemate. Fans break out in a dueling "Let's go, Buddy" and "Let's go, Ospreay" chant. The two trade chops and punches. Ospreay throws Matthews into the corner and chops the hell out of him. Matthews charges at Ospreay and ends up on the ring apron. Ospreay comes off the ropes with the hurricanrana, and then sends Matthews out to the floor. Alright, Ospreay hits a springboard or frog splash, plancha, whatever, onto Matthews at ringside for a big pop. He rolls him back into the ring and springboards off the top rope for a high spot, which Matthews avoids. Ospreay lands on his feet. Matthews puts him down, kicks him in the spine, and blasts him with a running kick for a 2 count. After several more minutes of back and forth action, Ospreay began to fight back into the competitive form from the aerial assassin, who would ultimately settle back to the offensive driver's seat, connecting with the big Styles, big Styles clash for a close 2 count before eventually finishing off Matthews for the win. I'm sorry. Once the match wraps up, Ospreay gets on the mic for a post-match promo as Matthews is recovering on the mat in front of him. Ospreay tells everyone to give a big hand to Buddy Matthews. He almost said the OWE name for the House of Black member. He talks about how he's faced Matthews and Broly, and he respects them both. He says, hopefully this is the last time they have to meet in the ring, and tells him if he ever needs a partner, Buddy, I'm your guy. So winner is Private Party. Ospreay, I'm sorry. Alright, Private Party come out and stuff. Obviously, video package, all that stuff, blah, blah. Once the package wraps up, we return inside the FNM Bank Arena, where we hear the very sounds of Private Party's theme music. Out comes Zay and Quinn with the Velvet Rope, Party Girls, etc. They cut a brief promo about being the first tag team to compete in the first match to air via simulcast on Max. As they continue to talk, they are cut off by the theme for the Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people. MVP comes out with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. MVP tells Private Party if they wanted to hurt them, they could have already. He claims they're out here to celebrate with them, but then spoil the party with Lashley makes it clear he's got sights set on their titles. Alright, next match coming up. After that, Bobby Lashley versus Mark Briscoe. Her skin kit plays on stuff, and Mark Briscoe music plays. Alright, the bell sounds and Aubrey going. Lashley immediately begins dominating Briscoe, setting into a comfortable early offensively as he continues to beat down the master of Redneck Kung Fu. We shift gears into a mid-match commercial break with the bout still in progress. When the show returns, we see much of the same, with Lashley continuing to control the action with relative ease of outside of the ring. He lays Briscoe and then arrogantly and slowly walks around the ringside. He reaches under the ring on the opposite side, only for a steel chair to smash into his base out of nowhere. Briscoe crawls out, revealing he went under the ring on the other side and crawled all the way to the other side underneath to sneak attack Lashley with the chair. MVP freaks out on the special guest commentary that Briscoe should be disqualified. Ultimately, Lashley takes back over and applies the Hurt Lock for the win. Afterwards, he continues the attack until Private run out with the chairs to make the save. We head to another commercial break. So winner is Bobby Lashley. Alright, Casino. Alright, shit. Come on. Alright, Casino Gauntlet for AW Championship opportunity. Alright, everybody's music plays and stuff, and Amen Page's plays. Alright, so that's really for Serious Glare here. The bell sounds, and Wyatt and Page began to get after it as Cabra talks on commentary about the significance of this match. Wyatt gets Heyman on the top row. It connects with the huge superplex as the two crash to the canvas. The countdown clock appears on the big screen. The crowd counts down, and then the theme for the third-party participants hits. Out comes the Dead Riders' own Weird Yuta through the crowd to a ton of boos as soon as Yuta hits the ring. White greets him with the Blade Runner. White immediately follows up with the cover, but doesn't get the three. As Heyman re-enters the picture, Heyman and White exchange chops before Heyman catches White coming out the ropes and hoists him up for the fallaway slam. The countdown clock reappears again, and when it expires this time, we hear the familiar sounds of Swerve Strickland's theme song instead of Swerve. However, out comes the man who violently attacked him last week. Ricochet, he sells in the ring and joins him in the mix as the show heads to a mid-match commercial break. When return, the countdown clock hits again, and when it wraps, we hear, it's all about the boom. It's not Big Boom, AJ, it's Adam Cole, baby. The Undisputed Kingdom member sells in the ring and immediately begins taking out any and everyone in sight as the crowd wars. So Ricochet hits a near coast to coast size jump from the ropes on one side of the ring to the other, only to descend into a stiff super kick by Cole. Upon landing, Cole follows up with a Panama Sunrise on Ricochet for a close to count. Afterwards, the countdown clock reappears. The theme for Dan Garcia hits, and now comes the reigning TNT champion to join the growing field of active participants in the ongoing stakes. Garcia and Gauntlet. Garcia and Cole trade shots upon Garcia's arrival. Inside the ring, Garcia hits a big neckbreaker on Cole to jump into the offensive lead. We see more back and forth action for another minute or so before the countdown clock returns. It strikes zero, and out comes Powerhouse Hobbs. The big man enters the ring and immediately starts ragdolling bodies left and right with ease. Heyman is the first to get in some return offense on Hobbs. Hobbs takes over literally seconds later. However, he hits the fallaway slam on him before popping up to pose for the crowd as Excalibur talks us into another mid-match commercial break. When return, Roderick Strong joins the mix. He gets in a couple moments of shining time in the spotlight before the Murdoch monster Lance Archer comes out next. As the action continues, the countdown clock appears again, this time bringing out Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly's inclusion in the contest leads to Adam Cole, and Roger Strong taking over in a big way. The trio dominant the action for some time until the clock appears again, this time bringing out the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett gets a big pop coming out but excuse me, guys. Jarrett gets a big pop coming out, but as he heads to the ring, he is blindsided and attacked from behind by Yuta. Yuta beats Jarrett away from the ring, heading to the ring to the back with Jarrett. They pass through the curtain, and the camera shot returns to the ring where Archer and Hobbs are digging it out. Chant meet. Okay. After Archer goes for a big spot, but Hobbs counters and sends Archer out too far. Hobbs hits a big spine buster. Alright, seconds later, covers him. Hobbs gets the unexpected victory. Hobbs will move on to challenge Jon Moxley next Wednesday night for the AEW World Championship at Aew Dynamite. Maximum Carnage. Renee Paquette interviews Hobbs live in the ring afterwards. So winner and advancing to AEW Maximum Carnage title shot, Powerhouse Hobbs. Alright, Jarrett has a Sammy coming out right away after this match. Alright, Jarrett is in the ring for an interview with Ian Riccaboni afterwards. Video package airs promoting Hook vs. Christian Cage for next week. On stuff. As he begins to talk, he is caught by the familiar sounds of the entrance tune of Maximo Jacob Freeman. Freeman gets into the ring and tells Riccaboni, who he calls a Bible thumper, to get out. He then addresses Jarrett. He runs down the accolades of Jarrett like he knows him firsthand, but after finishing, pointing out he had to Google all of that because he's not ancient, which means he calls him dinosaur. It's pretty fucked up. He says his dad told him he was a big fan of Jeff's. When he was a kid, he talks about the world title scene before running Jeff down for not being able to get involved in tonight's Casino Gauntlet. He talks about wanting to get after his Triple B and get it back. He reminds Jarrett that the clock is ticking. MJF revealed a detail that Jarrett wanted to avoid sharing nothing, that the contract he signed is only good for one more year. Not because he wanted that way, but because professional wrestling only wants him around that long. because they think that all he has left. Jarrett finally responds, telling MJF back in the day they had a name for people like him. They called him flashes in the pan. He says there's no guarantee that just because MJF made it to the top and won the world title before doesn't guarantee him that it'll happen again. He goes on to return down MJF's offer to strike a deal. Together, we head to another commercial break. All right, we have a segment coming up with John Cope on segment. Return break to footage of the Dead Rise attacking Darby Allin, kicking him down a flight of stairs a couple of weeks ago. Excalibur says Allin hasn't been seen since he has intentionally fallen off the map, falling downstairs and stuff. Back inside the FMM arena, we heard the premiere sounds of the iconic theme song of Am Copeland, Cope, the Radar superstar. Um, Makes his way to the ring as highlights are shown of RTR defeating the Dead Riders on the first Aew collision of 2025 this past Saturday night. Cope gets on the mic and wastes no time. John Moxley, the crowd boos. Cope brings up Mox and Goons taking out Bryan Danielson, ending his career. He says we just saw them take out Darby Allin and throw him down in a flight of steps. He says they made a mistake when they next targeted his friends. FTR he goes on to talk about himself being a different breed, a different animal. He says no one has gone through what he has to be able to stand in the ring. Excuse me. He says he broke his neck in the match against Eddie Guerrero. Do you want to know what he did? He got up and he wrestled 20 more minutes and won that match. He says last year he suffered a broken leg in a match. Do you want to know what he did? He got up and he wrestled 20 more minutes and won that match too. A few seconds later, the Death Riders theme hits, and out comes John Moxley, accompanied by Claudio Castagnoli and Ryu Yuta. Death Riders trio surrounded the ring and saw Cope only to be attacked from behind by FTR duo Dex Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Cope joins them, and the 3-on-3 brawl. Spreads throughout the FMM Bank Arena as Harwood and Weir Yuta we fight through the crowd with Casanova and Yuta. Cope lays out Mox in the ring. Cope is distracted by Marina Shafir on the big apron. He snatches her up by her collar, but before he can do anything, he is attacked from behind by Pac. Mox takes over, securing a bulldog choke and cranking back on it. As Cope goes out, Mox leaves Cope laying, and then Mox calls for something. Shafir hands him a plastic bag before Mox can use it. The theme for Powerhouse Hobbs, his Moxie's title challenger for next week's Maximum Carnage, comes out taking his straps down. The Death Rider all exit the ring upon Hobbs entering. They back off and retreat. On that note, we shoot gears into another commercial break. Alright, main event time coming up. Tony Storm versus Chris Statlander versus Will Nigel. Alright, main event time. But first, backstage, all stuff, blah blah. Casino Gauntlet for women's coming up. Alright. Blah blah, but again, it was re-enter Gauntlet, blah blah. Alright, it's all time to find the winner of this match secure. So yeah. Alright, Tony Storm theme hits, not so timeless. She sells inside the ring, and the theme for Chris Statlander's hits. Finally, when Naga's upbeat tune plays, and the third and final compare in this high stakes 3-way women's showdown enters the ring as he does. Ian Rickman does a cringe-filled freestyle rap to the beat. Matt Menard very appropriately reacted afterwards by simply asking what just happened. Very legitimate question. Alright, the bell sounds and off we go on stuff. With our final match of the evening before the show closing segment featuring the high anticipated return of the cleaner Kenny Omega. After some more basic backboard action, early offensive action, we see Nightingale selling into lead as the show heads to a mid-match commercial break. When we return from the break, we see the match still in progress. Tony has the advantage as she goes for another crossbody, but this time she gets sent by Statlander and Nightingale. Chris goes after Willow before Tony intervenes, which leads to Statlander going after the former women's world champion. Willow gets back into it until all three Moon end up on the canvas. Chris and Tony are up with Statlander, sending Storm into the corner only to be taken out with a pounce by Willow. Tony goes after Nightingale before being sent into the corner for a running cannonball by Willow. She picked up 20 for Death Valley Driver before Storm fights back to send her away and counters out of the grasp of an approaching Statlander. Willow is back, grabbing Statlander and a waist headlock. Chris grabs Tony to try and stop it, but this ends up in a double German suplex, sending Storm and Chris to the mat. Storm tries to fight back out of this as Willow is knocked away, but she gets caught with Saturday Night Fever finisher by Statlander. Statlander immediately follows up with the cover for the pinfall victory with a win. Statlander now moves on to enter next week's Women's Consume Gauntlet in the number 1 spot. So winner and advancing to number 1 spot in the Women's Consume Gauntlet, Chris Statlander. Alright, Ken Omega returns main event with the segment. First, also, blah, blah. Inside the ring over here, some grand news sounding music with the name Omega being sung church style. The theme for the cleaner himself hits, and out comes Kenny Omega to a huge reaction from the packed house inside the F&M arena and stuff. Alright, Kenny Omega sells inside the ring with a band-aid on his head from his match with Gabe Kidd at the Tokyo Dome over the weekend. The fans loudly chant his name. Omega remarks, "Thanks, guys. This isn't going to make this any easier," with a distraught sounding tone to his voice. He goes to talk about checking himself into the hospital and find out he had something called diverticulitis. He reminds the fans what he went through to deal, including the surgery and the recovery time he has. Doctor, how long he had to recover and when he could wrestle again. And doctor said he'd be lucky to go back to a normal way of life, let alone getting back to the ring, let alone get back to do things at the level people expect from him. As he continues talking, he mentions testing out the theory by wrestling a match for the first time in a long time. From there, we hear the rumbling sounds of Don Callis' theme. Omega darts out of the ring and charges at him. As Omega nears Callis, he is attacked from behind by Lance Archer and Brian Cage. The two beat him down and take him into the ring to add further punishment. Instead, the sounds of Will Ospreay's theme hits and a crowd goes absolute ballistic. The aerial assassin rushes to the ring to make the save. He and Omega stare each other down. As Cowboy informed us that Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage has made official for next week's Aew Dynamite Maximum Carnage show. Ospreay leaves the ring and heads to the back as Omega stands tall in the ring by himself with a steel chair in hand. That's how this read's going through. He was about to say something, but the show went off and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm talking weird and stuff. Oh man, I have a little bit of allergies, a little bit. So sorry if I'm sneezing. I was sneezing earlier and stuff, but yeah. Anyways, that was a good showtime. But the part one just Kenny Omega returning all that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty good. Man, I can't believe he's back, man. Finally. Whew. Been a long time since we saw him. So anyways, that was a good show tonight stuff. I hope you enjoyed it and all that. But if you liked this video or not, whatever. All that stuff. So anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you like it. Not whatever. But so let's subscribe, hit that button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment and stuff, I don't care what you guys do. That was it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters.